Okay.
All right. All week long, we have been learning and working together on a paper about Sally Ride. We came up with our own research questions. Why do you think I made you come up with your own research questions? Why did we come up with our own questions instead of me telling you the questions? Usually when we do research, I just tell you, these are the things I want you to look up. How come I said we were going to develop our own questions this time? Lily, why do you think?
Because sometimes you'll have to do it on your own and look up your own questions.
Sometimes you're going to have to do it on your own. Zeke?
I'm doing it over. This is like we're learning to research for persuasive papers, and when you're persuading, it's not what you want us to do; it's what we want to persuade the people about, and what questions we want to know.
All right, perfect. It's what Lily said, but Zeke took it a step further. So yes, sometimes you're going to have to do it, and you're definitely going to have to do it because this quarter we are doing persuasive writing in 2 more weeks. Hang on.
Mr. Andrew Witter and Olivia, please come to the library.
Andrew's outside.
They don't see them. Okay, so when we get to persuasive writing, am I telling you how to persuade me? No, so I can't tell you what kind of fact you're going to need to look up to support your opinion. You're going to have an opinion. I'm going to give you a topic, and you're going to have an opinion you're trying to persuade, but I can't tell you what kind of facts to look up. I can't tell you what questions. You're going to have to be able to create your own questions and find the answers at a reliable website all on your own, which is why I wanted to model this for you this week and go through it step by step by step, okay? So we're going to finish up the paper today, and then next week you guys are going to do what we did this week, except you're going to be doing it mostly on your own, okay?
What?
So, and it's going to be broken down very similarly to how we did it this week. Day 1, develop your questions and maybe start the research. Day 2, finish your research and start drafting. Day 3, finish your draft. Day 4, edit and revise. Okay? So, and it's only going to be, yours is only going to be 1 paragraph next week. Mine's probably
a question.
2. Do what?
I have a question. Now this paper, does Ethan have to do it because he just started online, or?
Yeah, because every 5th grade class is doing, we're all on the same thing. We're all doing the same thing.
Because he has no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, no, because he wasn't in my class. He's in Mr. Rothweiler's.
Right.
So I don't know what Mr. Rothweiler was doing with them, obviously, the other days this week, but we were all supposed to be modeling a research paper for them. If he was doing something different, I apologize. I don't know. But what we had all got as a grade team was that.
Does he not need to worry about this then?
For today, it would still be good information for him to make sure that he understands how to write a structure because he is going to have to write a research paper, yes.
So right now he just don't need to worry about writing the research paper until
nobody wrote a research paper. Nobody wrote a research paper this week. I'm about to project it on the screen. We're writing one together as a class.
Okay. He's like, what? And I'm like, I'll ask her. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so.
What are you doing, Miss Beth?
Here I am. All right, let me present. And let's get going.
Did you record?
I'm recording, yes. Thank you for reminding. Present. Oh, wait, I forgot. When I do this, I want to present my screen. This one, share. Okay. Here we go. Sally Ride, here's where we left off yesterday. We have our first paragraph, and it goes all the way through her being born, a little bit about her family and growing up and her education. And now we're ready to start talking about NASA and being an astronaut. We got plenty of time. Okay. So let's flip over to our research, okay? Let's see here. Things that I still need to talk about, I'm going to make bold so I can see them easily. Okay. How did she die? When did she die? What age when she wanted to become an astronaut? We haven't talked about that yet. Let's see here. We didn't mention her dog.
We did.
We talked about her interests.
Wait,
We talked about her childhood, honors or awards. We have not mentioned that. What did she do?
Miss Bell, we forgot to do, are any of them famous?
Okay, we will see. Well, first off, we don't even know if she has any kids, if she ever got married. We did mention that she got married to another astronaut.
I thought she had 2 kids.
And,
right there. See? Oh, wait, no.
okay. Let's see here. We already talked about her education. What was it like going on her first mission? What did she do after being an astronaut?
Did we do where she lived?
No. Okay. All right. So this is probably going to be enough for me to at least put together enough of a paragraph to model it for you. Is this the world's best paper on Sally Ride that has all the information in it?
No.
No, but was this good enough for us to kind of get the idea of what we're supposed to do? Yes. Okay. All right. Question, Maggie.
I know this is really on topic
of what we're doing, but how do the people that write things about
Sally
Sally
Ride, even if they didn't know her, how do they know the things? Like, they look it up. But if they're writing a paper about it, like, do they know?
So how did the original person get all of this information? Some of it. Not everybody writes an autobiography, Jason. You keep yelling autobiography every day, but not everybody writes an autobiography. Okay. Where would the original article, so like every article was based on another article based on where does the original information come from? That's a good question.
On NASA? It's in the records and everything.
So things like date of birth, date of death, there are like public records on that you can look up at like a courthouse or whatever. There are also marriage certificates, birth certificates. So if she got married, if she had kids, so anything like family, kids, anything like that, that's all going to be something that could be looked up. It's a part of public record. If I went to the courthouse and I had like the permission of the courts, because I can't just go request information on just anybody. But if for whatever reason I was like maybe a lawyer and I needed to work with somebody, I could go request those documents and I could find out all kinds of things. I could find out address. Now, then all of the information about her job and her work that we've looked up, NASA, companies and businesses keep records on things like that as well. So you can look up employment records with NASA. So the original researchers and people that work for newspapers that write articles, they are the very first person writing those articles a lot of times. So they have to go interview lots of different people. They have to actually go study things and just observe things sometimes, and actually maybe go to businesses and interview people that worked with them alongside of them. So maybe they didn't actually get to talk to Sally Ride because she already died or she wasn't around, but they could interview somebody that worked with her or something like that. And then the information just grows from there. Does that kind of make sense and answer your question? But that's a really great question. So like we're writing this and we're using several different articles that were already written. Where did those people get the information? And where did those people get the information? There had to be somebody that originally wrote the very first paper ever on Sally Ride. Where did they?
And what wrote the first paper?
You guys keep leaning to autobiography. Sally Ride probably was too busy to write the first paper.
Yeah,
like most people don't just walk around writing papers about how awesome they are.
Hey, I'm awesome. I like it.
So, all right, let's get focused on actually writing. So I'm going to say the first thing, if we're going in, we talked about that we're going to go in order of the way things happened in her life. So the next step is she graduated college. She is going to get this job at NASA. Let's see here. In 1978, she started her first job in NASA. Now remember, I didn't just copy and paste this from the article. I used my own words. So I'm going to start my second paragraph. Okay, where I left off, not only did she earn both bachelor's and master's degree in physics and English, oh, that terrible sentence, but eventually earned her PhD in physics. I'm going to start off, with what's next. In 1978, Ride, remember we said we're going to switch back and forth between Ride and Sally. Ride saw an advertisement for astronauts. Maybe, nope. Ride answered an advertisement
Can you make the
for
word bigger?
astronauts.
Can you make the word bigger?
Make it bigger. Yes, sorry.
I want to see.
Whoa, baby.
Oh, that's better. 120.
There we go. Okay, in 1978, Wright answered an advertisement from NASA. How about instead of for astronauts, I'm going to say an advertisement from NASA. Yeah. She beat out thousands. Again, I don't want to use the exact words. Thousands of other
People.
applicants.
We should do. She was one of 35 people that got the application. Well,
That's not sure how impressive.
She beat out thousands of other applicants
out of 35.
to become
The world's best astronaut.
No. First lady.
one
Remember, it was like 35 applicants.
the first. I don't know if she was the first female hired by NASA, but we know she was the first female in space. So I'm not necessarily going to say
American
applicants.
Yeah, so
American.
She beat out thousands of other applicants
That's exactly
and
what
was
the article
hired
said.
no. It said
to become an astronaut. She went through
So much.
multiple tests.
multiple types of tests and training before being assigned to her first mission.
On the
Okay, let's go get some actual facts. In June 1983, hang
on the
on,
space
she
shuttle
went,
challenge.
she beat out thousands. I'm going to say 4 years she went through multiple types of tests and training before being assigned to her first mission. In June of 1983, Sally became the first female astronaut
That's like
in
15
space aboard the
years.
Space Shuttle Challenger.
It's like that's on the
Okay.
Challenger part.
Did you capitalize it?
Yes, I did. Space Shuttle Challenger. Thank you for reminding me that I would need to capitalize that. Why do I need to capitalize Space Shuttle Challenger?
Because it's a specific name of a shuttle.
Specific name of the shuttle. Okay.
Shit.
It's a pronoun.
Her mission, or not her mission. I guess she didn't own it. The mission lasted. Do you remember? A week.
And
During which time she helped deploy satellites. All right, we've got a quote here. I didn't really decide that I wanted to be an astronaut for sure until the end of college. But even in elementary school and junior high, I was very interested in space and the space program. So I think I do want to put that quote in our paper. So I am going to copy it. I'm going to put it right here. I think flow-wise, it's going to make the best sense here. Because it says she answered an advertisement from NASA. She beat out thousands of other applicants and was hired to become an astronaut. And then to make this a quote, I think I want to put this quote here because she's talking about being hired by NASA and why. So I've got to put quotes on it. I also need to change the font so that it matches the rest of the paper. So it's Arial 11 and it's black. Arial 11.
And it's not bold. Yeah, and it's not bolded.
Oh, and it's not bold. Okay. Now I do have to put where this was from. The red one is interview with Sally Ride, Scholastic.com. So I'm gonna put.
Says
Okay, I need to change this to program, comma, said Sally in an interview with Scholastic.com.
She was alive when
But
that came
I didn't
out?
really decide that I wanted to be an astronaut for sure until the end of college. But even in elementary school and junior high, I was very interested in facing the space program, said Sally in an interview with Scholastic.com. For years, she went through multiple types of tests and training before being assigned to her first mission. In June of 1983, she became the first female astronaut in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. The mission lasted a week, during which time she helped deploy satellites. Let's look at what else we have. I remember, I don't know. It did say that she was assigned, let's see here. Josie, what are you thinking?
It's just a suggestion, but maybe you could, like, on your stuff that you should put on there, you could delete the stuff off of there, like backspace it, the stuff that you didn't do or that you already did, so that you could just, it would be less confusing, so that you only like see.
Oh, like just delete all this stuff that I'm not using anymore?
Yeah, because it's not really needed anymore.
Back to it though. He missed that.
Oh, wait. Okay. I see what you're saying, Josie. I can do that. Okay, we did all of that.
We didn't do her dog yet.
We didn't do
I know,
what her
babe.
age was when she became an astronaut. Yeah, we did.
What inspired her to become an astronaut?
And we didn't do the age she was when she became an astronaut. Again, that was not.
We did look that up. We did the math. She was 27. I could add that in, though. At the age of 27, at the age of 27. Now, should I write the numbers 27 or should I spell out?
Write
27.
the numbers.
27.
Boo, I'm hearing a lot of debate. Spell it out. Why?
Spell it.
This looks better like that.
No, Miss Dax.
There's a rule for this.
Yes, I know what it
If
is.
it's above 10, you put the actual digits.
Yes.
If it's above 10, you put the actual digits.
I've never heard that.
And if it's below 10, you spell it out. That's an actual official writing rule. People are looking at me like I have horns on my head right now. We've never heard this rule before. You learned something today. Winner, winner. If the number is 10 or less, you will spell it out. So if she was the age of 8, we would do it. We would spell it out. That'd be way too young. But if the number is 10 or more, you put the actual digits, okay? So since 27 is bigger than 10, we're going to put the actual digits. All right, let me go back and we'll delete this since, yeah, I like that idea, Josie.
Good job, Josie. Good thinking, actually.
Okay, so I do want to say, because she was scheduled to do other missions, but she did not.
It's because the other Challenger blew up. And then she couldn't go.
She was scheduled for 2 more missions. However, they were canceled due to the Challenger explosion.
No, you said tragic.
When was that Challenger
The snow-
explosion?
Was there another Challenger?
Yeah, they just were like Challenger 1, Challenger 2, Challenger. When was the Challenger disaster? 1986.
I was like 3 years old.
So, okay, raised hands. Who raising their hand?
Oh, great. I like your lights.
Who raising their hand? I can't see.
Ooh, nice lights. It looks like a crown.
All right, if somebody raised their hand, I don't know who. Okay. All right, the mission lasted a week, during which time she helped deploy satellites. Looking back at my notes, I have this quote on here that about what was it like being on her first mission. Where do you think I should put that quote about being on her first mission?
After she got accepted.
After she got accepted, way up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's talking about actually being on the first mission, what it felt like in her nerves.
Maybe before she went.
So it says in June, for years, she went through multiple types of tests and training before being assigned to her first mission. In June of 1983, she became the first female astronaut in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. The mission lasted a week, during which time she helped deploy satellites.
There should probably be in the sentence before, in June of 1983.
You think before it says she went on the first mission?
Yeah.
After she said she went on the first mission.
After she went on the first mission.
Okay, because if we're going to put things in order, she can't talk about being on the mission if she hasn't gone on the mission yet, right? Because we're going to put things in order. So we've got to make sure that that quote is somewhere after she went on the mission. So we'll copy and paste. Sally became the first female astronaut in space. Should I put it after it says she's the first female astronaut in space aboard Challenger? Or should I put it after it says the mission lasted a week? Should I put it here? Or should I put it here?
What the?
I'm just trying to show you guys where I'm talking about.
The first one. SD.
The first one?
Yeah.
Up here?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to make that a different color.
And I will
It
fix.
looks weird.
In June of 1983, Sally became first female astronaut in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger.
That was me, but
Now you raised your hand. You guys are punking me.
I think
It's Kendall.
Kendall, did you raise your hand?
No, that was me, but I forgot what I was about to say.
Oh, okay. Because I keep flipping back and then it's like not showing a hand and I'm like, somebody is punking me right now. Grace is punking me right now. Okay. I gotta make this. I gotta fix this so that it matches. Not bold, black, Arial 11. Okay. Wasn't really scared.
Make the whole paper.
Okay. The mission lasted a week, during which time she helped deploy satellites. She was scheduled for 2 more missions. However, they were canceled due to the Challenger explosion of 1986.
Say tragic Challenger.
After her, what?
Say tragic. Tragic Challenger explosion.
The tragic Challenger explosion of night. All right. After her time with NASA, ride.
Didn't we already say ride?
We've kind of gone back and forth. I already said that she's an astronaut. Ride became a physics professor. Ride continued her work with space and physics
NASA.
by becoming a physics
That sounds weird.
professor.
That sounds weird. What?
Hang on, I'll fix it.
What sounds weird? You said physics.
And the
2 times in one.
director of the California Space Institute. Space Institute.
What? Your lips are red. Yeah, look like your lips.
Okay. Sally also created a company
Called Sally Rides.
called, what was it called? Sally Ride Science.
Right? And capitalize it.
No, I did capitalize Sally Ride Science for girls
Why does it always have to be for girls?
in order, because she was a girl,
Yeah. So?
for young girls to be inspired by both math and science.
Go to it.
All right.
Biography and science.
Now,
Whoa. That's cool. It's like a fungus. Just put like little balls and then just-
ride. Okay, class. I feel like some of you have totally zoned out. I hope you're ready to write your paper on your own next week.
I am. But
Okay.
are we writing about?
We're almost done, so hang with me for another second. Okay, she got honors and awards, and then somewhere in there I do possibly, we'll decide. Okay.
What?
We got to put in her awards. Ride was honored
With a Just copy.
multiple times
What about C?
earning
Yeah, we can put that up.
the NASA spaceflight medal,
And
Do adulthood, teenage, well, adulthood, and childhood.
the NCAA Theodore Roosevelt Award. Thank you, darling.
Okay.
Roosevelt Award, and was also inducted into both the, guys, listen, National Women's Hall of Fame and the Astronaut Hall of Fame. Do we feel confident that other than the quotes, I haven't plagiarized anything? And the quotes are not considered to be plagiarized because they are quotes, and I put them in quotations and said where they came from. It was in the second one. I did not put in quotes because I already talked about where it came from in the first one. So it is assumed that the second one came from the same place. If it didn't, if you have quotes from different articles, then you need to say the different place. But since they both quotes came from the same place, I don't need to source it a second time. All right, this is the big thing. What about, hang on. We need to, okay, quit screaming about the dog. Calm down about the dog. We've got to say, we're saving that for last because we're saving the dog thing for last because at this point it's kind of out of place based on everything else we have in the paper. Because no matter where I put it, it's going to screw up the flow.
Do with the family part.
What family part? The dog was after she was a grown-up. We never talked about her grown-up family. And at this point, do I need to?
No. We're talking about, yeah, we did.
I never talked about her husband or if she had any children. In the paper, I did not. We did briefly yesterday read a fact that she married another astronaut, but I never wrote that down. I forgot to write it down, and we never got so far to look up if she had children. Now, I do need to write that she died. How do we want to word that? Sadly, Sally lost her battle with pancreatic cancer in the summer. Instead of saying on July 23rd, 2012, I'm going to word that in the summer of 2012. Now we need our closing sentence. Your closing sentence should somehow relate to basically the entire paper and should kind of be rewording what we said in our introduction sentence. So at the very beginning, we said Sally Ride has been an inspiration for both past and present generations. We need to somehow reword that sentence and make it our conclusion sentence. Sally Ride has and will be a truly inspirational woman.
Inspiring, not expired.
Sally Ride has been. Quit. Why is everyone talking at once without raising their hand? Has been and will be, I don't like that, a truly inspirational woman.
I thought you just copied the sentence.
For years to come. I think that's clunky and it doesn't flow very well.
Yeah.
Make it better. Fix it for me, friends. Who can fix this?
Mama, we can make it about the dog.
We're not making it about the dog. Because you know what grade I would give you? You know how I grade you 1 through 4? If you put your conclusion sentence about that dog, you will get a 1.
What happened to her dog?
Because I would say you don't have a conclusion sentence. Because writing a sentence at the end of the paper about the dog has nothing to do with anything else in the paper. So I don't know if I'm hoping you were just trying to be funny. I'm not writing about that dog for the final sentence of the paper. Just because this is the only information now that is left on here, should I just throw it at the end?
Yes. No. Wait.
And Sally had a dog named Segan.
But he died. We don't know if he died.
No! You guys are crazy.
Wait, what did he say?
That doesn't flow.
No.
Doesn't make sense.
What did he say?
Fix my Sally Ride died sentence.
Sally.
Oh, no. Fix my conclusion sentence. Sally Ride has been and will be a truly inspirational woman for years to come. I don't like that.
Right after she died.
Fiona.
Sally Ride will always be a very inspirational person
For boys
from
and
now
girls.
and years to come.
Okay.
That's exactly what it says.
Maggie.
Um,
It's pretty close to what I had.
Sally Ride.
Completely reword it. Sally Ride
let me read the whole
Sally Ride.
will always be
It's bad.
And Sally
Remember.
The first,
will always be remembered.
as the first American lady as the president. I mean, as astronaut.
Okay. Oh gosh, what did I just do?
Miss Beth. And after that.
Raise your I can't hear. Raise your hand and quit screaming everybody at once. I still have people talking without their hand raised. You guys are killing me. Sally Ride will always be remembered
As
for her appearance.
huh?
We didn't even talk about her appearance. For her inspirational contributions
How inspiring was she to
to
people in the universe?
Sally Ride will always be remembered for her inspirational contributions
And for
to
town or the. Stop laughing. Nothing's funny. It's funny.
the world. Always be remembered for her inspirational contributions to the world, to the space program. What do you think? Let's vote. Sally Ride. I heard two different things. I heard Sally Ride will always be remembered for her inspirational contributions to the space program or for her inspirational contributions to the world. What do you think? Raise your hand for space program. Raise your hand for world.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to vote for space program.
No,
But
space program. Space program. Space program. Space program.
Revote.
I think, why would I say space program instead of world?
Because not everybody knew better. Or whatever.
Did everybody worldwide know about her? We didn't discuss that in the
Other people are
paper.
different and not American.
Did she inspire? She might have inspired people around the world, but did we discuss that in this
Some
paper?
people are Chinese.
That's why we said space program.
Chinese.
Amazing.
I'm a little disappointed in some of the behaviors in my face-to-face classroom right now, and I'm really hoping that my friends can get it together. Okay. All right. Somebody had their hand raised over here. Virtual friends.
Right.
Yes, no? Maybe so? Grace, is your hair all curly and crimped or braided or something? That's kind of pretty. I like it. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I braided my hair after I got out of the shower and I wore it in a braid yesterday and I took it out today.
Oh, so it's got like the Brady curls. I like that. Okay. Inspirational contributions to the space program. To both.
Not world because like she was the first American. And, like
Sally Ride will always be remembered for her inspirational contributions to the American space program. Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
You like that?
The American community.
To the American community.
Yeah, not the Chinese immunity. The American. Sorry.
Okay. Now I've got one more thing I need to do. Is this how you cite your sources? The last sentence of your paper. My sources are.
Do them right after one of your sentences.
And whatever the other one was. Notablebiographies.com. Is this how I do that?
No.
No, not even a little bit. Okay. What you do is they're not part of your paragraph. Your sources are not part of your final paragraph. You're going to hit enter a couple of times so that it's separate. And then you still don't even say sources like that. You're going to put it in the middle again.
Sources
Oops.
used. Sources dot.
You're going to put sources and you're going to put it in the middle.
And then put used.
And then underneath it, you're going to list your sources. Not in a list like this,
Two chops.
but
Ooh,
like this. I don't need a period at the end of that one. Okay. You could even underline that and it would make me even more happy. Okay, does everybody see how that looks for your sources? Okay. Now, like I said, unless you're putting something in quotes, you don't actually have to mention your sources in your paper unless you are quoting that source. Okay, you just need to list them in the bottom so that people know where your information came from. All right, that is what writing a research paper should look like. Let's double check. Let's read through it one quick time. Should we? Sally Ride by Babs class.
Can we add the dog at all?
No.
I'm going to read it, and you're going to see that the dog doesn't fit. Stop with the dog. Sally Ride has been an inspiration for both past and present generations. Sally was born on May 26, 1951 in Encino, California. She grew up with a younger sister. As a child, her parents encouraged her and her sister Karen to explore and always do their best. Sally had a number of interests. She was very athletic and often played both football, baseball, and tennis.
What if you could tackle them?
I need to take out the word both, I just realized, because both implies I'm talking about two things. But I have three things in this list: football, baseball, and tennis. So I need to take out the word both. If so, the next person that says the dog is going in the hallway. She was also a great student, earning straight A's and demonstrating a love for reading science fiction. By the time she reached high school, Sally became interested in the study of physics. Despite being encouraged to work on tennis professionally, Ride decided to study physics in college. She earned several degrees while attending Stanford University. Not only did she earn both her bachelor's and master's degrees in physics and English, but eventually earned her PhD in physics.
What's up?
Doctorate degree. In 1978, Ride answered an advertisement from NASA. She beat out thousands of other applicants and was hired to become an astronaut at the age of 27. I didn't really decide that I wanted to be an astronaut for sure until the end of college, but even in elementary school and junior high, I was very interested in space and in the space program, said Sally in an interview with Scholastic.com. For years, she went through multiple types of tests and training before being assigned to her first mission. In June of 1983, Sally became the first female astronaut in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. I wasn't really scared. I was very excited and I was very anxious. When you're getting ready to launch into space, you're sitting on a big explosion waiting to happen. So most astronauts getting ready to lift off are excited and very anxious and worried about that explosion. Because if something goes wrong in the first seconds of launch, there's not very much you can do. The mission lasted a week, during which time she helped deploy satellites. She was scheduled for 2 more missions. However, they were canceled due to the tragic Challenger explosion of 1986. After her time with NASA, Ride continued her work with space and physics by becoming a physics professor and the director of the California Space Institute. Sally also created a company called Sally Ride Science in order for young girls to be inspired by both math and science. Ride was honored multiple times, earning the NASA Spaceflight Medal, the NCAA Theodore Roosevelt Award, and was also inducted into both the National Women's Hall of Fame and the Astronaut Hall of Fame. Sadly, Sally lost her battle with pancreatic cancer in the summer of 2012. Sally Ride will always be remembered for her inspirational contributions to the American space program. All right. I like it. I think we did well. So that's what I've got for writing. I'm going to hit stop presenting and stop recording. And then if you want to stay on, we're going to go